Hey everyone, welcome to The ROOTTREES Are Dead. I don't know anything about this game except that it's apparently a mystery. So I'm prepared, I've got a notepad, I've got a pen, and hopefully that's all I need. I've got a mostly working brain, I've got a terrible memory, so hopefully I won't need that. It says the ROOTTREES are dead. The plane crashed last night near Pittsburgh. The only passengers were Carl Roottree, his wife Brenda, and their 3 daughters known as the Roottree sisters. Carl Roottree was the president of the Roottree Candy Company, and it's not clear who will succeed him. So far, local police are not sure what caused the crash. It's one of the deadliest plane crashes in Pennsylvania's history. They do not suspect terrorism. Okay. Let's just jump into it. Right, the Rootttrees are dead. The mystery begins here. Very cute. Okay. December 6, 1998.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottree Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottree and his daughters, the Roottree sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Rootttrees are dead.
I think I had a very great newsreader voice. Oh!
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottree Company's lawyers are scrambling. Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were.
If I was, I would have business cards with genealogy genie written on them.
I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Okay. Complete the family tree of the Roottree sisters. Siblings are in birth order. Oldest to youngest. Okay, I have to examine my evidence. Search the internet for clues. Fill in the names, fill in the occupations, fill in the photos. Okay. Evidence. I have a photo. The person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottree Sisters Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake moustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're reading. Being a Roottree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." Okay. Well, 3 sisters, we know that. She looks the youngest, but I don't know which is which. This list was provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. Eloise something. Okay. LaRue. Diamond. Rafferty LaRue. Okay. It says Candy, Carly, Gwendolyn, Gwyn, Christina, Lauren, Margaret, November, Raina, Riley, Samantha, and Tessa. It's a candy company, right? And we know the mum's name was Brenda. Is she not a Roottree? Oh no. Brenda White. Okay. Tessa Green. Interesting. Oh, and there's all the men as well. David III, David IV. That's how you know they're rich. Clancy Edward, Clancy Jr., Edward. Carl was the dad. Elias, Elias Jr., Elias C., oh my god, Elias M. Jack J. Miracle, Miracle Jr., Miracle III. Wolf, best name. Oh my god, imagine there being so many. Imagine not only calling your child Miracle, but then having them call their child Miracle Jr. And then that kid calling their own son Miracle the Third. Absolutely incredible. Okay. Let's read the welcome. Cashew Pad. Welcome to the Information Superhighway. Thanks for purchasing a new Cashew PC. Your PC is equipped with a 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high resolution images. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included high-end color laser printer or burn a music CD to listen to later. If you want to revisit a search result, be sure to use Netscape Explorer's new history feature. Happy surfing, and remember, Cashew PCs are delicious. Cashew PCs are inedible. Do not try to eat your computer. Okay. It's 7:03. We have no notifications. Let's try the internet. God, that sound is so familiar. Ooh. I would like to spider search. There's no history. Can I just type root? Is it? Oh my god, is it 1, 2, or 2? I've already forgotten how their name spells. There are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottree sisters' modelling careers. You also come across an unofficial Roottree fan site seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text, and hard to read unless you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. Okay, so that's how notes work. Okay. Raina equals oldest. Riley, their names are god awful. Riley with an H is the youngest, and Rose, also with an H, middle. You might think they're rich just because they're models, but their dad is also the president of the candy company, and their mum Brenda is a fashion designer. They do the modelling for her brand Root. I eat Roottree candy all the time, my favourites are maple crisps, and try to dress in plaid root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Okay, Riley, youngest, plaid. She was the one in the middle. And Rose, oops, is pissed. Okay. I want to look up who TMS might be. The website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. That sounds about right. So let's go back to our evidence. Okay, so maybe Thomas Sheridan? Or she married to a girl? No. This is set back in the 90s. I don't think they can. Nope. So, Thomas Sheridan? Question mark? Messed up my caps lock. Okay. Can you move? Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay. Oh. What? Okay. The oldest. Middle, she got ears pierced. And dressed in plaid. Name. Oh my god. RH. Oh, it's Raina is the oldest. How do I look at my notes? There. Riley is the youngest. Where's Rose? And then she goes by something else? There's no RH OSE. Okay. What does it let me do for... Oh, aren't they all just models? Yeah, they're models, aren't they? Oops. There's my evidence board. Model. Model. Go away. Model. Oh, I do need the spouse. I think it's Sheridan. But where... What's her name? Rose. Tree. Not as popular as the older sister, Raina. Okay. What if I... Did I search for the Roottree sisters? Or that doesn't matter? Yeah. Okay. Wasn't that the fashion brand? The period is part of the name. Clothing company. They make clothes for children from toddlers to teenagers. The website's down. You two can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina. Wrote 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina has appeared on almost all of them. There's only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. Ha! Carly. Yeah. 1985. Carly Roottree. Okay. Why'd she change it? Well done. These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. Oh, did I get the spouse wrong? Oh no. Sweet. I am a genealogy genius.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired. The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The root trees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives.
Okay. Direct blood
Anyone
relatives.
related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
So we'll try and fill them all in as well.
Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable root trees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree.
So they're like the famous ones.
I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
Okay.
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the root trees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Okay. I don't even know her name or anything. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, name, occupation, and portrait, they will be locked in. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. Okay. Is it Elias and Gwyneth? The Root Tree Candy Company was founded in 1908. Okay. Let's have a look at my little envelopes. Okay. This is a list of notable root trees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could be easily found. Could be found easily via a search engine. So we've done the girls. Then it's Carl Root Tree, Elias and Gwyneth Root Tree, who I think are the founders, and that's our dad. Their dad, sorry. We're not the Root Tree sisters. Gwyn Root Tree, Red Root Tree, Jim, Lauren, and Miracle Jr. But not Miracle Sr. or Third. Okay. Intuition. You've been in this line of work a long time. So long, in fact, you've developed a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. The higher the number, the more there is to find. At the start of your search, the notables list sets off your alarm bells. A list of famous people that you can find via search engine. It's pretty rare to get something that useful. Best take advantage of it. As you progress, these numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or lock in family members, new discoveries will be added to the list, and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If a piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often the most satisfying revelations come from retracing a path you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. Sometimes the reason certain evidence has such a high value is because it can lead to finding more evidence. You may be missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Okay, there's a lot to find with the notable root trees. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Cool chocolate, bad blue raspberry, awesome apple, power plum, so strawberry. Radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s. What even is an elderberry anyway? Okay, so the creator of 5 pieces back in the 1920s had 5 children. Okay, and this is the story so far. Beautiful drawings. Alright, let me go back to my board. We're pretty sure it's Gwyneth and Elias. But let's get Googling. Can't spell. Tree Candy Company. Okay. It was founded by Elias Root Tree shortly after he married his wife Gwyneth. His family owned a small farm called the Anderson Maple Farm. For reasons that aren't explained on the page, it has no CEO and no stockholders. Instead, it's run by a president with input and votes from extended family. The site does mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Carl Root Tree, who despite his death is listed as the current president. Well, I'm assuming it just happened. They probably haven't voted for a new one yet. The product that puts them on the map were 5 pieces, maple candies with 5 different flavors that are dipped in a crispy, crackly candy coating. Since then, they've branched out to countless other products, all of which incorporate maple in some way. And then, okay, so Elias and Gwyneth. I'm guessing that's Gwyneth. But is it? What was the Anderson? Anderson Maple. And alias original, I would assume. I don't know exactly what you would call their job. Oops. Oh. Okay. Periodicals. Or the public library. New system coming fall 1999. Awesome. I want to search just alias root tree. Was the founder and first president. We've added the picture. Ellis is credited with inventing 5 Pieces, a popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. After 5 Pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He's quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup," and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy. The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. Oh, there's a book. Bess Williams. I'm writing this down. We can look it up on the library site. Family Man, the Root Tree Legacy. So Carl is Elias's great grandson. Wait, where's my notes? Highlight. Okay. Carl is Elias's... Oh, that's not what I meant to hit. Edit note. Elias's great grandson. And Elias had 5 kids. I'm not even typing anywhere. 5 kids, question mark? I think so. Okay. And then let's try... Let's spell her name correctly. The first Anderson Maple Farm. And I've got a photo. She had no brothers, so as the older sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm so long as she married. Okay. Oh, well, aren't they cuties? 1909, after they founded the Root Tree Candy Company, but before it was a success. Okay. That's Gwyneth. That's Elias. I would like to have the occupation of baby. Like, do we say... Okay, so we just say president first. Like that. I mean, what are we calling her? As a housewife. Okay. Now, is that true? I need 3 more correct blood relatives before they will lock in. Okay. Oh. Okay. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. It has 2 names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, having been intentionally hidden in the past, may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Okay. Oh, that's easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So that person all the way down. I mean, that's... One of these has to be Carl. And the other one has to be... Oh, no, sorry. This one would have to be Carl then. Oh, I don't have his details. But Carl... Root Tree. He's the most recent president. And she's Brenda. I don't have a photo of him, so let's Google Carl Root Tree. Carl Roottree died in the recent plane crash along with his wife Brenda Roottree and their daughters, the Roottree sisters. He was the president of the Roottree Candy Company as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. There's a short press release that the Roottree Candy Company released today to news organisations. December 6, 1998. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the Roottree sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottree family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Wait. Spider search. Okay. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They've been around for over 100 years in one form or another and will often write about major changes in management at famous companies. Every year they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as Watchmen of the Year, Elias Roottree and Carl Roottree. I would like to make a note of that, thank you. Business Watch does not host any online archives on any site you can find via Spider Search, though you may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. Okay. Let's have a look at the periodicals. Roottree. Carl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his work with Root, so not the candy company. And Elias in 1936. Alrighty. Oh, look at him. Elias Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936 and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognise the global rollout of 5 pieces. Inside the article is a timeline of 5 pieces. 1908, Elias forms the Roottree Candy Company after marrying his wife who inherited a maple farm. During the period before 5 pieces, the company is barely profitable. 1909, Elias has a daughter. Okay. Add that. The first of 5 children, 4 more follow, leading to 1922, Elias invents 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors chosen is based on the initials of his 5 children, 1 flavor per child. In 1924, 5 pieces are first sold in some Pittsburgh markets. In 1926, they rolled out to all of New England. In 1928, the new recipe and flavor is finalized and the candy begins nationwide distribution in department stores and other shops everywhere. In 1935, the Roottree Candy Company purchased every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. In 1935, with the help of his son Elias Roottree Jr., architecture firm, a new industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler County. And in 1936, production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. There's also a What's Next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that the Roottree Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with the Clancy Trust. Clancy is a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after the Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias's son and the Roottree Candy Company's head lawyer at the time. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up in online discussions about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. Okay. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. An account is created for each blood relative at birth and first accessible when they reach 18. The actual numbers have never been fully disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company, it is a significant amount of money. The Clancy Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. Okay. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The only information you discover is from a university law school, which apparently had a guest lecturer talk about the root trees versus RR in 1994. While looking into the clan-said trust, you often find mentions to the 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. So it was Elias Roottree's attempt to ensure that the Roottree Candy Company would remain a family business for eternity. In isolation, it is somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Roottree's president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. When the 5-piece guarantee went into effect, it was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the clan-said trust, however, it makes a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president, and he knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and as successful as possible. Whether or not this was a smart or successful decision is widely debated both online and in person by economics enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. Okay. And what was my other note that I just made? The Roottrees versus RR. Spider search. Very few details. A student that attended the lecture about it wrote the following on a legal oddities website. From what you can tell, RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. It was said that RR attempted 2 arguments. First, that the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the clan-said trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descendant of Elias Rootree without completely dissolving the trust. Now, do you think RR was one of these ones? She was born like 1985. So probably 1994 is a bit early to be like raising a lawsuit against someone. Let's have a look at my other bit of evidence. Carl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987, and a photo of him appears on the cover. There we go. According to the cover, Business Watch is a magazine for and about corporate leaders and has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. Carl was chosen not for his work at Roottree Candy, but rather a clothing company, Root. There's a brief history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for a creative outlet, she spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin Jim Roottree. Okay. Who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. By 1982, Brenda's patterns were being copied by other brands. Seeing the demand, Carl and his second cousin Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Roottree at the time, Ernie Jr., president, 1982. Spearheaded Root. Other blood relatives who have a say in the company's finances refused to fund anything other than candy, so Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. When the profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now Root exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit. Per tradition, or perhaps superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first ones did. Raina became their catalog's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. The younger sisters were then recruited to show off the baby clothes. Carl was voted Watchman of the Year primarily for his personal gamble and the ensuing payoff. Alright, let me jump back. Carl! Okay. I wanted to do the wife. Did I do the wife? These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. You've also... Oh, I did do Brenda. Yay! Okay. I need to do 3 more, but we've been going for a little while, so this might be... I've just noticed these exist. Okay. So that's probably Jim then. because he was on the... Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I think this is a good stopping point for the first lot. This is really fun. I'm having an absolute blast doing this. I haven't actually needed my notepad to write too much stuff down, although I have scribbled a couple of things because we have a notepad here, and I should probably use this so you guys can see it as well. But I think that'll do for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.